Hey kids, welcome to CGX Projects. This is episode 3, Revenge of the Clueless, and today we're starting a whole new project. I'm going to be assembling my very first Booknook. So what is a Booknook? Well, they're essentially a diorama, a little miniature environment that's about the size of a hardcover book. The idea is you put them on your bookshelf in between your books, and they create a little visual flair. Most of the ones I've seen, they're essentially like a vertical box, like so, and you look into them. Most of the ones I've seen resemble an alleyway or perhaps a room. They're often literary themes. Many of them look like little libraries. The Harry Potter world, of course, has provided a lot of inspiration. There's a lot of variants on Diagon Alley, for instance. And of course, there's many that look like actual environments around the world. Tourist attractions, which is what I've chosen here. I'll show you that in a moment. My friend Steve built one a couple of years ago and showed me when I was over at his house one day, and I was just enchanted with the whole idea of it, the idea of this little miniature world on your bookshelf. So I started researching the whole issue. There are people who make their own from scratch. You can buy the shell, the actual box that they go in, and people design and build them from scratch. I'm not quite that ambitious, or given that I am the clueless guy, I'm not quite that skilled. Maybe later on down the line I'll try something like that. But for my first one I decided to go with a commercially made kit. There are quite a few of these on the market, and they're pretty easy to find. You can buy them at Michael's hobby store. I've seen them at Barnes and Noble, and obviously they're all over the place online: Amazon, Etsy, eBay. One thing, if you're going to be buying online, that I would caution you about is that a lot of what you'll see is resellers who have bought these kits and are reselling them at hugely inflated prices. So if you see one that you like, do a little shopping around, do some price comparisons, and try to find yourself the best buy. From what I've been able to determine, there's 3 or 4 major manufacturers. They all appear to be Chinese corporations. They operate under different names sometimes, depending on where you're shopping. Amazon especially can get very confusing because of resellers and I guess different divisions of the same companies. In my case, the kit that I chose to go with is manufactured by a company called Rolife, also known as Robotime. They are Chinese. I ordered direct from the manufacturer, which means it shipped from China. And that actually went better than I expected. It arrived in this fairly well padded package. Came through a reshipment point in Los Angeles. And the price was pretty reasonable. But I also have had this for quite a while. I ordered this before the current administration started applying tariffs to everything. So I don't know what the prices are like now. When I got it, plus shipping, this was about $45 total. Again, if you're going to go this route, do some price comparisons. Look at the various resellers, look at the company's own page. Just try to find the best price for yourself. So as I said, I got this direct from the manufacturer. It shipped from China, and at some point it passed through Gardena, California, reshipment point. It arrived in pretty good condition. There is a bit of a dent on the back, but it doesn't look to me like anything's damaged. So one of the interesting things is that because the manufacturers are Chinese, most of the themes, most of the environments they depict are Asian. Settings in China, Hong Kong, Japan, Korea. And many of them are quite lovely. And I might try one later on. They're not quite what I was really interested in. My own travel dreams and my own literary tastes are European. I considered a kit that depicted the canals of Venice, but I decided that one was a little too cartoonish. Quite a few of these kits are, for lack of a better word, cutesy. They're kind of cartoonish in how they depict things, especially the ones that include little animals or characters. And I wanted something a little more realistic. So the one I chose, the title is Arcade Dating. I don't know how well this shows up, but basically it resembles a shopping arcade in Paris. I am a Hemingway fan. A Movable Feast is one of my favorite books, so I thought this would look great with my Hemingway collection. So let's take a look inside the box and see what this is all about. Okay. So these are the parts of the kit I've seen in other construction videos that basically you snap these pieces out and snap them together. Supposedly this kit doesn't require a lot of glue or fasteners. We'll see if that holds true. Safety instructions. Sounds scary. This kit is also lighted, so I'm going to have to assemble more LEDs, and my experience with the Nativity set, which you can see in my other videos, will hopefully come into play with that. Color instructions, that looks helpful. Interesting. That's a lot of space filler. Okay, here's the LED kit. That looks very similar to what I worked with before. I'm not sure if this will have to be wired together like the other kit that I did. We'll find out. Little props, a little screwdriver. How nice. And just some miscellaneous little bits. I'll find out what these are. Alright, I'm getting into the instructions a little bit, and at first glance this actually appears a little intimidating. This sheet here, double-sided no less, includes a lot of this is the key for icons, and a lot of them are not particularly intuitive. Grease with cotton swabs, okay. Use double-sided tape, okay. Polish the cutting points with the sandpaper stick. Alright, well, I guess there's a sandpaper stick somewhere. Here on page 1 of the instructions, it looks like there's some sanding involved, which I did not anticipate. This is kind of groovy, that big plastic spacer thing that was in the box, that at first glance just looked to me like wasted space, actually has a function. It's suggesting that you put the small parts into the openings in that box. So, okay, I like that. Again, it's talking about when you remove the parts from their sheets, you might end up with burrs around the edges of it, which will have to be sanded. I didn't anticipate that. Doesn't sound too hard, but it's a step I didn't anticipate. The instructions themselves, I'm probably going to have to study these for a while and figure out how they work. I did build model kits as a kid, model airplanes and things, but I remember the instructions for those were a little more intuitive than what this appears to be. You know, here we're just looking at strange little green squares and things. But I'll figure it out. So, oh, here's the sandpaper right here. Okay, that was nice of them. This is a dust cover that will slide into the front of the diorama shell when we're all done. I don't know, maybe these are meant to be windows or something. Decal looking things. The majority of these parts, it appears to be wood, possibly laser cut or stamped. And these bigger pieces, it's pretty thick. It's like a composite wood, kind of like what you get with IKEA furniture, only not as thick, not as durable. So anyway, that's the beginnings of the kit. I'll do some reading in the instruction book and maybe put together a couple of pieces with the camera off, so you don't have to be bored while I'm trying to figure out that part. Okay, this wasn't quite as complicated as I thought at first glance. The pieces are numbered, so F3, and there are 2 of those. So here on our parts sheet, I guess you would call it, F3, 2 of them. So they snap out fairly easily, like so. And these are the burrs that it mentioned, so I'll get my first experience of sanding those. Wish me luck. Alright, so the sanding is pretty simple. Hopefully you can see that. There's the little burrs, and they're just tiny little fragments, and it only takes 1 or 2 strokes of the paper for that to end up nice and smooth. I feel like I ought to have the theme from Jeopardy playing or something. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I won't do that. Maybe I can find some music to put over the top of the video. I should mention that this particular kit is not at all rare. I know there are other construction videos showing this one going together. And there's probably some that are a lot more interesting or a lot more fast-paced than what I'm doing. But, you know, this is my first time here, so we don't really care what all the other guys have done. So trying to coordinate the shape here. Looks like these larger pieces go in the bottom. I don't know if that sound carried over. They seem to lock in pretty easily here. So, oops, there's a little burr. Okay, so I just need to do a few more of those. This is a bit of a problem because I have large hands, so trying to fit some of these little bits together might be a challenge. You know what? I've already messed up. It's these smaller pieces. Fortunately, they just popped right out. So yeah, it's these smaller ones, the F4s, that go along here. And it looks like the larger F3s go up here at the top. Maybe. Or maybe not. That can't be right. Nope, I had it right the first time. This is going to be one of those projects, it appears. Ah, I see the problem. I'm doing this backwards. It's supposed to be this side. Notice the shape of these bump outs here. I assumed because the number was on this side that it would be the back, but alright. That's what I get for having camera fright. Okay, first piece is gone together, and because of my mistakes that caused me to have to pull these pieces out and a couple of times, this little guy right here was loose. It wouldn't fit tightly into its socket. I just used a little drop of good old-fashioned Elmer's glue, and it seems to be pretty solid now. So, I am going to conclude this video and put together a few more pieces, and we will come back in a part 2, just to keep these from getting too long. I don't think you want to sit and watch a 40-minute video of me putting little bits together. Anyway, please come back for part 2 when we'll be a little farther along in the construction. And if you have any tips or suggestions, any thoughts on what I'm doing here, feel free to leave those in the comments. As always, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.